Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Dr. Muhammad Zaman Ashraf. I welcome you all in reaction mechanism. Today, our topic is methods determining reaction mechanism. In my previous lecture, I have discussed the thermodynamic and kinetic requirements of the chemical reaction and also the thermodynamic and kinetically controlled products. So, the thermodynamic and kinetic control of the products, they have been discussed in my previous lecture, and today we start a new topic which is determination of the reaction mechanism. We will discuss different methods which are used to determine the reaction mechanism. For example, the first one, identification of the products. So, we have the first method, identification of products. So, this is helpful in the determination of reaction mechanism. We have second method, suppose we have presence of intermediates, determination of presence of intermediates. Suppose we can isolate the intermediates. We can detection of intermediates, or we can trapping of intermediates. So, it means the first method is identification of the products. It is helpful for the determination of reaction mechanism, or the presence of intermediates. If we can isolate the intermediates or detect the intermediates or trap the intermediates, these are also helpful in the determination of reaction mechanism. The third one is the stereochemical evidence. The stereochemistry of the products. If one of the products or the product, it has ability to present in more than one stereoisomeric form, then it is helpful in the determination of reaction mechanism. Or we have kinetic evidence or study of catalysis. Study of catalysis are the isotopic effect or isotopic labeling. Isotopic effect or isotopic labeling, these are also helpful in the determination of reaction mechanism. So, all these methods one by one we will discuss to determine the reaction mechanism. Today we start with the identification of the product, the first method which is used to determine the reaction mechanism. Suppose we have reactants, they are converted into products and byproducts. So, the mechanism which actually explain the formation of products and byproducts, it is the most acceptable mechanism. Any mechanism which explain the formation of products but it is unable to explain the formation of this byproduct, that mechanism for this reaction is not acceptable mechanism, because it is compulsory to explain the formation of all the products and byproducts for the acceptable mechanism. Suppose we have the first example for this identification of products to determine the reaction mechanism. We have alkane, methane in the presence of chlorine. This is free radical halogenation of alkane in the presence of this diffuse sunlight. We have this product CH3Cl. HCl is also formed along with this our product, but another byproduct is obtained, which is this ethane. So, any reaction which actually unable to explain the formation of this ethane, that is not the acceptable mechanism to explain this, which is unable to explain the formation of this ethane. So it means the most acceptable mechanism is that which explain the formation of this methyl chloride as well as ethane. So first step in this reaction is the formation of this free radical Cl from Cl2. This is homolytic fission. It reacts with this methane and we have this free radical. So formation of HCl byproduct, it is proved here. This free radical, methyl free radical, it reacts with another molecule of chlorine, gives us this product. And formation of this ethane, it is proved here because this CH3 free radical in the termination step, it reacts with this another methyl free radical, gives us this ethane. Okay, it means when this methyl free radical, it reacts with chlorine, it gives us this methyl chloride, and if both methyl free radicals they react in the termination step, it gives us this ethane. It means this free radical mechanism for the formation of this halogenoalkanes from alkanes, it is actually the acceptable mechanism because it explains the formation of all the products and the byproducts. And other examples which explain the mechanism of reaction in which we determine the reaction mechanism by identification of the products is the Hofmann reaction. So in case of Hofmann reaction, we have this CH3, CH2, CO, NH2 amides in the presence of base and bromine. It gives us this CH3, CH2, NH2. So this reaction is known as Hofmann rearrangement or Hofmann reaction, or sometimes it is also known as Hofmann bromamide degradation or Hofmann degradation reaction. So it means any reaction which is unable to explain the formation of CO2 because this C double bond O is missed here. So when this C double bond O is missed, the mechanism, it is that mechanism is acceptable mechanism which explain the formation of carbon dioxide from this C double bond O. So the mechanism which explain the formation of this product as well as the byproduct carbon dioxide, we have NaOH base, this amide NHS due to NH acidity, it is converted into CH3, CH2, C double bond O, NH negative because this nitrogen attached with electron withdrawing carbonyl. So here amide NH acidity is induced. So this negative charge, it reacts with bromine. Sometimes this NaOH and Br2, it is written as NaOBr. CH3, CH2, CO, NH, Br. Okay. So another this NH acidic hydrogen is present, and in the presence of base, this hydrogen is removed. So as a result of removal of this Br, nitrines are also produced which are highly reactive species. So when this negative charge appeared here and double bond shifted here, then we have CH3, CH2, O negative, double bond N and Br. So in this case, this group, ethyl group, it is shifted to this nitrogen and Br is removed and this comes back. Here we have CH3, CH2 and double bond C, double bond O. So that's why this reaction is known as rearrangement reaction, because at this step, this ethyl group, it is migrated from this carbon to nitrogen. So this is the rearrangement reaction. So these isocyanate, they are produced as intermediate, and the water, it attacks at this carbon, and we have the intermediate CH3, CH2 and CO, and here we have OH. Okay, so it means when water attacks at this carbon, then this carbon, it is attached with double bond nitrogen. One of the hydrogen from this water is shifted to oxygen. So both these oxygen, they are now hydroxyl, because one hydroxyl is from water, another hydroxyl of this oxygen, because one hydrogen is shifted. So this intermediate, it is cleaved, and carbon dioxide is removed at this step, and we have this rearranged amines, and carbon dioxide is removed in this reaction. So it means both these hydrogen, they are shifted to this nitrogen. This is the acceptable mechanism, because this mechanism actually explains the formation of this rearranged amine, also along with the formation of this carbon dioxide. So the mechanism which is able to explain the formation of all the products and the byproducts, it is the most acceptable mechanism for the reaction. Otherwise, if you hydrolyze this amides, simply it gives us carboxylic acid and ammonium, because this is primary amide. But this mechanism, it actually explains the formation of this rearranged amine, also the formation of this byproduct carbon dioxide. So this is all about the identification of the product, which is helpful method to determine the reaction mechanism. In my upcoming lecture, I will discuss some more methods which are used to determine the reaction mechanism. Thank you very much.